Hey guys, yeah, my name is Rick. I'm just a normal guy, but God has had mercy on me all throughout my life. And one of the things that helps me just kind of stay faithful and to stay pure is looking at how much God has forgiven me, how merciful He's been to me. Um, and then, it helps when God opens your eyes to see what's really going on because when we get weak, when we get tired, when we get lonely, whatever, you don't think straight. We don't really see the consequences of what we're doing. And so early on in my life, God has just really helped me see there's consequences to my actions. And um, there was a time in my life when I kind of took those for granted. I was 27 years old. I had been very successful. I was married with three kids and just kind of got comfortable in life. And that's what happened to King David in the Bible. Is he was what God's like one of God's right hand men, and God used him, but he was getting lazy and he got comfortable, and he was at the castle instead of being at the war. And that's when he fell into sexual sin and temptation. And that kind of happened to me when I started making a lot of money. I started, growing a business and getting really powerful and just having a lot of people look up to me. I just stopped seeking God. I just kind of relaxed, and that's a dangerous place. Another saying is idle hands are the devil's workshop, and that's kind of what happened to me. Is I fell into sin where I was struggling with sexual sin in my life that I'd never really struggled with before, and this happened for about a year, and I just would try so hard to stop, and then I couldn't, and I struggled, and then I would get some help, and then I would fall, and it was just this cycle of just hopelessness, and it was dumb, and it didn't satisfy, and so I started reaching out to some friends, kind of sharing with my problems. But what really changed my life is one day God just took me out of my body. I had this vision with I met the Lord, and He says, "Rick, you want to live like this? You want to live like this? There's consequences. I'll let you go." And He took me out of my body and had a little vision of what my life would look like down the road. And it was ugly, guys. It was lonely. It was empty. It was dark. And that's when I woke up. And since that day, like I was different. I got my view of pornography, my view of sexual sin, of flirting with people was different. And I started to fear the Lord. Like God put His wrath on me. Like I died in my bathtub. Like I'm on the floor. I couldn't move. I was having a heart attack. And I knew I deserved God to kill me. I knew I deserved His wrath, but he gave me grace instead. And so I really was intentional about serving Him and serving other people and helping others. And then a book that helped me was a devotional book by Oswald Chambers called My Utmost for His Highest. And the whole book is about don't focus on what you're doing, focus on who you want to be. And does that make sense? Like I was so like focused on what you should do, what you shouldn't do. This is good, this is bad. Don't do this, do this. And that's the wrong focus. The focus is who do I want to be? Because I'm going to do things consistent with who I want to be. If I want to be a ball player, I'm going to practice, I'm going to study, and I'm going to do things that make me a better ball player. I want to be a man of God. I want to be a faithful husband. I want to be a pure man of God. I'll do things naturally that will help me go that direction. And so it really helped me think about and look at my life and say, who do I want to be? Do I really want to be, a pervert? Do I want to be addicted to sexual sin and pornography? And and so I realized that I'm doing things that are leading me down that road that I really don't want to be down when you wake up and you think about it. So I really started praying and thinking about the proactive things. Like, what do I want to be? I want to be faithful. I want to be a pure man of God. I want to be used by God. I want to be. I want to have hope. I don't want to be empty. I want to save myself for my wife. I wouldn't want my wife out there sleeping around and looking at other men. So I just started looking at the bigger picture and saying, who do I want to be? And then I lived my life every day in that direction. And sometimes you mess up and you fall, but you get up and you go back in that right direction. And then I'll leave you with a couple of verses. One verse that I memorized that was really key was 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. And it starts in verse 3. First Thessalonians 4, verse 3 through verse 6. And it says, For this is the will of God, your sanctification, that you abstain from sexual immorality, that each one of you know how to control his own body in holiness and honor, not in passionate lust like the Gentiles. I don't want to be like the lost. I don't want to be like the Gentiles. I don't want to be like the world. But that's how I was living when you're addicted to passions of lust. But they don't know God. And he says that no one should transgress or wrong his brother in this matter. So I was wronging other people by doing that. You think pornography is a private issue. It's not. It's wronging so many other people. And God says that if you do that, he's going to be the avenger in all these things. And he says, I'm warning you, don't give in to sexual sin. So it's 1 Thessalonians 4, verse 3 through 6. I memorized that. That helped me. And then in Proverbs, there's Proverbs 23:27 says, the adulterous woman or the lustful woman or the woman in the picture that wants you to lust after her, right? Any woman that wants you to join them in their lust is a deep pit, a big, deep hole. You're messing around that hole, you're going to fall in. And then someday you're going to realize you're in this deep hole and you don't want to get in, you don't want to be there and you can't get out. That's how strong the addiction to sexual sin and pornography is. It's so strong. Whenever you decide you want to get out, you're not going to be able to. You're going to be so deep in it. And so that verse helped me realize that don't even mess with it. Don't look at that woman. She's trying to get you to fall down with her. And it's a deep pit. It's not worth it. So I hope that encouraged you guys. And if you need any help or prayer, contact us. We'd love to come alongside you.
Thank you so much, Rick. I appreciate it, bro.
You're welcome.